What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Common Theory, the internet's contentious statement, from what I've heard. Number one competitive Pauper EDH podcast. We're the only competitive Pauper EDH podcast. You've got myself, Rohan, and my co-host, Conks, over here.
Hello.
Izlain. How you doing, man? How you been?
Doing great. Gator and I did some golf. We went to Top Golf. Took the wives out. Yami was there with his wife, too.
Is it like super nice down there right now? Because it's actually pretty nice up here. And like suddenly it got like really warm.
Yeah, actually, funny enough, during the weekend, it was very whatever, like kind of overcast, rainy skies. And then leading into Monday, it got a lot better. Like Sunday, Monday were just beautiful days to be outside. Saturday was like, it was all right.
Yeah, it's been gorgeous here during the week. Today was insane. It was almost 60 degrees out, which is just absurd. Considering last week, it was like 0.
Yeah, that 60-degree temperature swing's insane to deal with. Or like,
yeah, it's bizarre.
I was like, all right, cool. I guess winter's over suddenly. Like, thanks, Parksatani Phil. Should have told us earlier.
In New Jersey, we have like there's this like this is meme that always trends around this time of the year of like the New Jersey seasons in New Jersey, and we go. It's like winter, fool's spring, second winter, faux spring, third winter, and then like spring.
Oh, so you're just waiting for the random snowfall in March?
Yeah, it pretty much always happens. Next week's probably gonna be freezing again, and then it'll be nice, and then we'll have like a random snowstorm, and then finally it'll be nice for like 1 week, and then it'll be 100 degrees.
That's awful. What the hell?
Yeah, that's how it goes here.
As you guys can tell, Gator's not here today. Unfortunately, he's out sick.
That's okay. We still have an exciting topic for y'all today. We are going to be talking about how or if a single card can make or break a Pauper commander deck. It's sort of related to that. Can a single card bring back a dead competitive Pauper deck? I think it's pretty interesting. But before we get into it, if you guys aren't already a Patreon subscriber, you should go and check us out at patreon.com/thecommontheory, where you can check out the pre-show, where we talk about the Wizards Pride event that's coming up at the end of May, beginning of June, all the way through June, where they open up partner commanders across any commander.
Yeah, so, all commanders have
partners. So what is that? What happens, right? I mean, you probably just end up playing Nagila and Derevi, right? And you just win on turn 1. What's really interesting is what happens when you start thinking about Pauper commander in that context. Like, what are the really broken Pauper commander pairings of uncommon creatures?
So, yeah, because you open up every uncommon creature together. And that's
a can of worms. There's some really cool ones. We'll give you one hint. You can do some really dirty things with Disciple of Deceit paired up with random stuff. Yeah, really dirty.
It's super nasty.
It's insane. But if you want to hear more about that, please subscribe to our Patreon and check out the pre-show for this episode. It's up.
Yep, or become a YouTube channel member and you'll see it on there too.
Yeah, man, let's get into it. Single cards that make or break a Pauper commander deck. I guess we can go through in Wooburg order. There are a few standouts, I should say, of cards that I think we've identified that we feel are just, without that card, that deck wouldn't exist. Or would be unplayable. And yeah, there's only a few actually, which is really interesting also, that there's not.
Yeah, we tried, but fortunately, there's like so many redundant pieces that exist in.
Which is a good thing, really.
Yeah, which is amazing.
So let's go in color order with white. Is there anything in white?
Not really, because everything that we need in white, there's multiple copies of protection spells. There's a bunch. Actually, like even 1 mana white flickers, you have 2 in Cloud Shift and Ephemerate.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's as close as it gets, right? Like, it's like those two. Stave Off is a great card. We talk about it a lot on the podcast, but it's just not a proactive thing that you're really mulliganing for unless you're just really scared of a fast combo deck at the table, which even then, in our format, they're not going off until like turn 3 or 4 at the very earliest. That's Magical Christmas Land, right?
Yeah, even turn 3 is Super Magical Christmas Land. Like, sure, we say decks can win on turn 2 all the time, but everything has to go right perfectly in that.
Yeah, you rarely see it happen.
Doesn't happen.
So, like, mulliganing for interaction is fine, but we're rarely mulliganing for like a very specific piece.
Yeah, like even for Thrabentrum, which we kind of discussed earlier, we're not really going to mulligan for it because it's like,
great. I mean, it's
cool,
a great card,
removal.
and like it may be the best card in white, but yeah, how often are you looking for a Thrabentrum in your opening hand? You run it in Abdel, I run it in Gut, in the white decks that we play. How often do you mulligan and you stop on a Thrabentrum and you're like, yeah, I'm keeping this hand?
Not really. That's, again, like, unless I'm playing against a Hollow Marauder or like another super grave heavy deck, I really don't care about it.
Very table specific.
It doesn't really build a deck like some of the other cards we're going to talk about. But Blue has like 2 bangers already.
Blue's a few, I think. The obvious ones, I think, are the preeminent sort of combo pieces, right? High Tide.
Yep. Without High Tide, Scholar of Ages is not a deck.
This is gone, right? There's a few decks like that. It's a Guildmage, which is it really a deck anymore?
We'll figure out next week.
But
Melik appreciates a High Tide.
Melik, right? That's a High Tide deck. But yeah, IGM is a High Tide deck. Without a High Tide, I think that deck would just be absolutely dead.
Those are the 3 main decks that really require High Tide. Everything else will just love to have it.
And I think along the same lines, Peregrine Drake.
Yeah, because Peregrine Drake's the only land Untapper, mass land Untapper on ETB. Pretty much without Peregrine Drake, we wouldn't have any of the Drake combos. Because that's literally the entire half of the combo. 1/3, technically. The other half being Archeomancer.
Yep, of which we have 5, 6, 7.
A bunch
of pretty good ones. Not obviously as good as Archeomancer, it's the best one, but there's a bunch that are pretty close. I'm personally not really seeing a lot of Drake combos, especially in the past 6 months. When was the last time you lost to a P-Drake?
No, back in January when I was playing against Ashiok. It's kind of necessary because it's the only one of the few mono blue ways to generate infinite mana, just by flicking Peregrine Drake. It's also pivotal for Scholar of Ages. Funny enough, one of the cards that actually brought up this entire conversation was me playing Abdel Blue and just having another copy of Cloud Shift in Essence Flux. Recently won a game because I had Ephemerate and Essence Flux, and I had 1 white, 1 blue available. So I was able to do it. So in case if they interacted with one of them, I had the other as backup.
So I kind of have a related question then. Like, you're talking about redundancy here. Do you think that if we got another Peregrine Drake copy, do you think that would change the standing of any decks? Like in a tier list or like their power, their value?
It should, because there's a second copy of Peregrine Drake. It depends on the mana value and if it's tutorable with the.
What decks do you think would really benefit from additional Drake?
Everyone, the one that runs Drake. Because again, we'll just take out some random thing that we don't really need and just slap it back in.
I guess that would be a huge buff to Scholar of the Ages. It would be a pretty big buff to Shadow Spinner.
Yeah, because again, it's nice to have redundant pieces. That's why I said Essence Flux was such a great boon to Abdel, because it's a 1 mana flicker. I literally took out the Merchant Scroll that we put in there, and then we immediately took it out. Because what are we tutoring for? A flicker spell. What did we get? A flicker spell.
Have you felt that the addition of that 1 card, does it make the deck feel that much better? Is it are you all, because I know for a while we've been saying Abdel Blue, not that good. It's like a B or C tier deck at best. I feel like the tier ranking of the deck changes with this 1 card. Does the deck feel more powerful because you have this 1 extra card?
It honestly does, because again,
really?
All I need is a single blue mana source and I'm set. If I'm drawing, if I'm manually flicker storming through the deck and I see it, I'm super happy that it's not Merchant Scroll.
We both play a lot of cEDH. In cEDH, I feel that way a lot. Because we have so many tutors and ways to find individual cards, and our card draw is just so ridiculous. I feel like 1 card, for sure, can make or break a deck, and we've seen that, right? We saw it with pre-ban, with when Valley Flood Color came out. Rogside was everywhere. The 1 card, I don't want to say completely changed the deck, but it very much changed the play patterns of the deck in a very real way.
Yeah, and to kind of tie it back to cEDH, it made banishing that decks real in cEDH, because just being able to untap things and you have a way to, bounce something back to recast it at instant speed, you pretty much have your own deck combo.
It's interesting that you feel like, the one flicker card actually has a similar impact for that deck. So you've been playing the deck recently. Do you feel like this one change has made it viable for you? Like, are you going to play in tournament?
I might. I'm still really digging Malcolm Kedis. And as you can tell from my tournament results, and actually, if you guys go watch the VOD that's currently live, I feel really good about how I played Malcolm Kedis. Like, I lost against another super grindy Izzet control deck, and that's fine. And then I got blown up by a mouse, and that's fine. I had to just accept death sometime. And then I lost against Arabella, which is perfectly okay, because I agreed to a 1v1 that I probably shouldn't have, and I probably should have just lost to another opponent, but I don't get free wins. I'll leave it at that.
But the deck felt strong, right? The deck felt strong, right?
It's Malcolm Kedis. It's like the deck feels strong on like any day.
Yeah, and this is like a tangent, but it's a different topic. I always feel good when the deck feels amazing, and I feel like it was me. Like, it was my bad playing that lost it for me, but the deck felt insane. And I feel like I'd much rather feel that way than the opposite, where, like, I feel like I played incredibly, but the deck felt like it couldn't keep up.
That wasn't the problem that I had. Just that when there's a Heartfire hero and you get targeted, you just kind of die. And yeah, it's like, again, I was on curve to win too, because I had Keswick Flame Breather and Ophidian Eye in hand, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm just gonna win. And then I was like, oh wait, that's right, this mouse is huge. You can also watch the VOD up here. As soon as I get the thumbnail for it, the vid's gonna go up.
Back to our combo, right? About single pieces, single cards, and how they can affect the deck. I mean, it's cool. It's cool that you feel like Abdel is kind of back because of this one edition. Feels very minor, but is so impactful for the one.
Because again, like second Cloud Shift, or technically third Cloud Shift. Which
any other cards you feel like are on the same level in blue? I feel like all the combo pieces are a little bit unfair because, like, you can put Ghostly Flicker in that list too.
Technically, Ghostly Flicker, you have the redundant in displays.
They're not quite the same.
It depends on what your second Flicker target is, but most of the time it's going to be Archeomancer plus another creature.
Ghost Flicker can flicker any permanent, so
well, no, not any permanent. I learned that the hard way. It doesn't flicker planeswalkers. Yeah, unfortunately, that's important.
Okay. That's blue. Do you have anything else in blue?
No, but if they ever downshift like Great Whale or Palinchron, cool. I don't think that'll ever happen because I think Palinchron's on the reserve list.
They're both on the reserve list, I believe, right?
Oh, that sucks. Then they should totally just make a 4-mana.
They're both like $50 cards.
Oh my god. Then they should make a 3 and 4 mana Cloud of Fairies. I don't think that'll happen because card's busted, but I don't know, maybe. Anything's possible nowadays. Yeah, because the card in black got recently printed, and I didn't think that they would ever print a Shadow Chain Devil in 2 mana. Because like a Curse Marauder technically raised every single black X deck immensely.
Yeah, it certainly did. Do you feel like there's any particular deck that, like, before a Curse Marauder came out, was just like no one played it? It's kind of dead in the water, but then the card came out and people were like, oh.
Not really. Even though we did say it's like super pivotal and super important, and people are actually mulliganing to a Curse Marauder, because again, a 2-mana Edict that hits non-tokens, it's perfect. It's amazing. Slices, dices, makes julienne fries. It's one of the cases of just rising every ship in the water.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe Abdel Black, I would say. That card has it's like almost solely responsible for increasing it in the tier list to where it's at now. I feel like after that card came out is when people started really looking at Abdel Black as like a real strong contender.
Somewhat owned, because Abdel Black is already like insane enough already, and then it's already powerful enough.
Like, I guess in my experience of playing with people on Spell Table and in person, like, I only really started seeing people dig into that deck after that card came out.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because I mean, between playing against Gator and Yami, who both play Abdel Black, I didn't really see a change because they're both already playing it. No, I believe you, because oh my god, especially now you have to deal with like Tithing Blade, a Curse Marauder, Grimbauble. No creature's going to be on board against Abdel Black.
Yeah, I forgot. Grimbauble was so good in that deck.
Yeah, for everyone listening, if you're playing against Abdel Black, good luck to you. You're going to have a miserable time.
Another one, I feel like it's like almost what we're talking about. It's pretty close. Is Eviscerator's Insight is like
that's the one that gains life, right?
crazy. No,
that's Reckoner's Bargain.
It's the one with flashback, which is so crazy busted in our format. You know, like having two of them.
How many Deadly Disputes do we have? 1 million of them? At least 3? No, we have 4.
More than that. I mean, if you're counting Village Rights too.
Yeah, one day we'll do a Throws versus Deadly Disputes episode.
But yeah, I feel like Adventurer's Insight also, it's like that card raises Abdel Black and other tokeny decks like a quarter tier. Like
yeah, just like the fact that
on its own.
Just the fact that you can chain off all of these effects by going like Deadly Dispute, sacking. I guess you cracked the treasure for mana. For was it Fanatical off? Is it Fanatical Offering?
Yeah,
the one that makes the map. Yeah, yep. Make the map token, sacrifice the map token, and just keep going off is ridiculous.
Ridiculous. So I think that's another one in Black. Eviscerer's Insight is like, it's funny. It's interesting too. Is that like, you know, both Eviscerer's Insight and Essence Flux have a lot of redundancy, but it's like because it's more of this such an absolutely crazy cracked set of cards. They do elevate the deck by like, you know, either
immensely,
or a part of a tier. You know, like it makes the deck feel significantly more powerful by their addition.
Yeah, and that's something that we always talk about with deck building, that you want to have a playset of these cards. So that does help fulfill a playset. Like Essence Flux, you have now 3 out of 4 of a playset. All the Deadly Disputes, congrats. You have 8 copies of Deadly Dispute.
Any other black spells you had in mind that you're like, this card is completely makes or breaks the deck without it?
No, but before we were talking about Crypt Rats, and I was saying how Toxin Analysis actually helps you stabilize a lot, but it's also not a card that you're actively searching for until you
Crypt
really...
Rats and Pestilence both. It's very deck dependent.
Toxin Analysis is more of an oh shit button.
Yeah, I mean, but Crypt Rats and Pestilence technically are make or break decks for a very, very, very specific subset of decks.
So Alcatron.
Was it
Death Rattle Oni?
Death Rattle Oni, yeah.
Congratulations, you made it into the video.
Yeah. That deck would be just non-existent without Pestilence, I feel.
Yeah, I'm just happy to never have to play against Pestilence. I'll say that honestly, because it's so miserable.
It is miserable. I do kind of wish that people would play it. Not that I wish that people would play it more. I wish that there was something that made it more attractive to play. Sounds like there's a commander that was just, it's better than Death Rattle Oni. That like makes Pestilence look good.
Yeah, maybe in the future, but I don't know. Like you still have to keep a creature on board and just like recur it.
So that's an interesting challenge. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe like back in like 2019, like when the meta was a lot slower. Pestilence. Well, I mean, Pestilence was good back then. We don't have Old Man Gator telling us like the good old days about it.
It's like when Pestilence just ruined everything.
That's the stories that I heard where it was just Pestilence days. Yeah, but moving on to Red, the other card that influenced this episode, Magmakin Artillerist.
This is an interesting one. It just came out, right? So we don't really know if it's good.
It turned Rocco into a real deck.
I know Rocco, but I'm not familiar with the...
it's the Seeker... Yeah, so it works with the Seeker Skybreak combo with Hanger Scrounger.
Also, it could do the thing with that... You can do the Affinity 9 thing, but with the green spell.
Snake Umbra? Yeah, Snake Umbra. Again, like, it makes Naya decks real, or it makes Rocco real. Again, because, like, that's what it needed. It needed another way to win, right?
Are there a lot of ways to discard in Naya?
Do you want me to go through all the throws again?
You just have all the loot.
Yeah, you have all the throws of possibility. Faces looting and just like a whole bunch of random stuff that like just loots for no real reason.
Like all those cards now.
But like again, like was it Naya? Rocco has that Hanger Scrounger combo in it. And just to get it out of the way, no, Malcolm Kett is not going to be running this card because I don't think it's really a Malcolm Kedis card. It's a Malcolm Breaches card, because in Breaches you're already not playing any of your cards anyway.
It's a Breaches card because you can use Breaches to snag lands. You fill your hands with useless lands that you can't play, and guess what? They make great discard fodder. So you're basically, the card advantage from Breaches becomes very real and makes it feel less bad to actually hit lands off of Breaches. In fact, not only does it make it feel less bad, you actively want to be hitting lands off of people with Breaches.
Great thing is that the Archeomancer is already a pirate. So you don't have to spend time turning it into a pirate.
So we'll see if it's actually good. I have updated my deck to include some lines with the Magnican Artillerist. The one line that I feel like is actually really spicy is Mental Discipline. It's a this may be cope. I don't know. Like, we'll see. I may be like just in the tank. It may be horrible, but it's a 2-mana combo with Malcolm. It's a 3-mana enchantment, 2 blue and 1 colorless. Pip says for 1 blue and 1 colorless, discard a card. You draw a card. So discard's part of the cost. I mean, that's all it does. It's 2 mana to loot, and with Malcolm out and Magnican out, when you discard a card, Magnican deals 1 damage to everybody. You make 3 treasures, and then that allows you to pay for the next loot. So you're always making 1 treasure and drawing a card. Well, you're actually card neutral.
No, being card neutral is still fine. The only problem is you can't go like on top of interaction, or at least you need to have X cards in hand. Well, X plus 1 cards equals the amount of interaction.
As many cards in hand as your table has interaction, and mana available too. So basically, like, each card in your hand becomes a negate,
which is sick.
Pretty good, honestly.
Yeah. Like, it's not terrible, yeah. I don't know. Is this something that I kind of don't want to actively look for in Malcolm Kedis?
No, but Malcolm Kedis, I think it's not good.
No, because Malcolm Kedis has like a million other ways to just like ping everyone.
Also, you don't have the passive card advantage of Breaches, which you really need. Like, the Magnican makes it so that you want to be playing Breaches. If you have it if you have that in your opening hand, you're on the Breaches plan. You play Breaches first.
Yeah, which is actually a nice mode to be on, especially in like, I wouldn't even say it's an anti-Malcolm world, because when I played Malcolm Kedis, my Malcolm actually was not interacted with all that often. It was mostly the rest of the spell pingers, which is actually something very nice to see for once. I'm happy that we are healing as a community.
Yeah, it's cool. I think it's nifty. We'll see if it's actually good. I've tweaked my deck to make room for the Magnican Artillerist, and I'm on the discard plan now. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just be hellbent in all my games, then I'll just lose.
Yeah. So would you be happy if you got more copies of Throw Possibility? Because right now,
no. No, I wouldn't. I'm not. In my Breaches list, I'm only running 1.
Oh, now grab the. Oh, I guess because it's instant speed. Oh no, grab the price is instant speed, right?
It's sorcery. Yeah. If it was instant, I would 100% be playing it.
Oh, actually, you could probably run the highway robbery, because you can blow up one of the lands from your opponents.
It is not bad,
but it's also not instant speed. So
it's not.
I get it.
Speed. I would sooner play Compulsive Research over both of those cards.
That's fair. Yeah, because you draw more.
It makes Compulsive Research like a little bit of a modal spell. It's just pretty sick.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, is there any other cards in red that you would want that you think are like either hyper pivotal or like really makes other red X decks?
Goblin Matron is kind of up there. That card is pretty pivotal in at least the red decks that I play, which are Dargo Kedis and Gut. Goblin Matron is like a all-star banger of a card. Without that card, the deck would be, each of those decks would be a lower tier.
What are you searching for? Is it Surgeon or Goblin Surgeon or Carclan Shaman?
Which is, you've got Surgeon, you've got the guy that bounces stuff. Sting Scourger, which is pretty cracked. You also have Carclan Shaman.
That deck is going to be like the bane of my existence in 60-card Pauper.
You also get Skirt Prospector.
Oh, yeah, Skirt Prospector.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
so
like
honestly, like Matron is so important to red, especially like if you're in like mono red, like non-blue or black red decks. If you're in Boros or Gruul or mono red, that card is like really important.
yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, in red you should just be running like a small goblin package.
In Gut, it also gets you
Crib swap.
Crib Swap. Yep.
Yeah, because in Malcolm Kedis, we had it in there just to grab Blades and Wings of Velasvale.
Are you still running it in Malcolm Geddes?
No, I think we took it out.
Yeah, I think it's too slow. Yeah, I mean, I think that actually fits the criteria as being like, yeah, without that, I don't think the decks would be dead, but they would be significantly worse. Like way, 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 way worse.
Again, just the one little tutor is all we need sometimes. And
It's
again,
so
that's
important. I mean, in these decks that don't have tutors, right? Like having the one and it can get like 3 to 4 different things is like I can't tell you how many games that I've either won or lost because of Goblin Matron in both Dargo and Gut. We played a game last night on Izlain's stream, so you can go check that out on at the Possibility Storm. Yeah, I was on Gut, and I used Goblin Matron to fetch the Surgeon, and that literally won me the game.
yeah, because Surgeon just ate up all the interaction put it at Gut and the skeletons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was super sick to watch. Yeah, because I remember Izlain was like, "Oh no, I got you dead." I'm like, "No, you don't. You forgot about the Surgeon."
Yeah, and he forgot the Matron's also a goblin. So I'm like, oh, yeah, it's like the Matron. He's like, oh no.
Yeah, so Wizards of the Coast, please print a foil Goblin Surgeon. It's not on the reserve list, but please, for the love of God, just print it.
So I think that's awesome, and like by that same measure, give us more tutors in common in the different tribes.
So, yeah, no, there's going to be a D&D book set in Lorwyn, so maybe, hopefully, even though like what they do over there doesn't impact us at all.
We have a really bad tutor in Elves. So I mean, like that we have it, but it's like it's not good enough to make or break a deck, right? It's like
no, like all the Wizard Cyclers technically are the Wizard Cyclers good enough that is the reason why we have those two in Step Through and Vidalcan Ether Mage. Is that why Simic Untapper decks are so good? Because we have 2 Wizard Tutors to go grab the 2 Wizard Untappers.
I think we're really only concerned about Step Through. The 3 mana Wizard Tutor is fine.
I mean, I'm happy that it exists.
Step Through is a really good card. Does it make or break a deck? Maybe, honestly.
No, I do you know what it is? I think it's because we do have 2 Wizard Cyclers. It is.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think without Step Through, certain decks get significantly nerfed. And I'm going to go ahead and say yes. I know Malcolm lists immediately get worse.
Oh, yeah, no. The 2 mana Wizard Cycle is so important.
2 mana, colorless, instant speed, uncounterable tutor. And in a pinch, it's not the worst piece of interaction ever.
No, I had it as my honorable mention in the blue interaction, in the blue removal video.
Honestly, yeah, I would say that kind of fits. It without it, it makes the deck significantly worse.
Yeah, and then you know what? It does help out Abdel because it is. Before it was the only Wizard Cycler we played, but now we've gotten so far in the tank to play Vidalcan Ether Mage. Because again, it's starting to get to that weird part of like, again, because we have Essence Flux, we don't need to go searching for flickers. Now we need to go searching for our Archeomancers.
Yeah, and there's some of them Archeomancers are just so bad they require extra pieces. Like, why bother when you can just sink an extra?
Oh yeah, that's why I took out Melweb Curator.
Yeah.
I took out all the ones that say ETB put it to the top of the deck.
Yeah.
No. Respiratory Scab.
Yeah. Like the Biblio, whatever.
Yeah, the Biblioplex Assistant and Melweb Curator. I don't like them solely because it puts it to the top of the deck.
Yeah, you need
sometimes
you need the draw piece. You need 2 draw pieces, right? One to rip that down, and then another one to draw your deck.
Yeah, to progress through, and sometimes you just don't see them together in a game.
Yeah,
and I got burnt so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, the worst part is like playing Abdel Blue, you have the combo in hand, but you don't have a way to draw the top card. Mm-hmm. And then you get yelled at by your friend saying, "Oh, it's a play pattern issue." I'm like, how is it a play pattern issue if this is what the deck is giving me?
Now that we talk about it, I feel like I feel that Archeomancer is on this list too.
All 4 of them?
Just complete. No, 4 of them. Just Archeomancer. Just the 4 mana, the best one. Without that card, there are a lot of decks that only will just play the one Archeomancer.
You know what? Fair, because Weavers does do that.
Yep.
My version of Malcolm Kedis, I took out the Amiibo Changeling for the Archeomancer. Amiibo Changeling's too slow. I love that card to death. Yeah, because you could just leave it on board and people are not going to... But yeah, but like I was saying, in Kedis, everyone's just like, oh no, he already has a combo in hand. I'm like, guys, calm down. This is an Amiibo Changeling. I still need everything else for this to work out. Yeah, that's why I don't like it, because it throws up too many red flags, and I don't want to be dependent on it. Me personally, I'd rather just go, I win at instant speed, or I win on the turn that I play everything down.
Yeah, fair enough.
That and that's why I liked it in Weavers, because it allows for the Snap Archeomancer line, which is again another win line where you can deploy everything on the same turn.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's enough yapping for red, and then going back to blue.
Green.
But
green. Is there anything?
Modern Horizons gave us 2 beautiful cards in Evolution Witness and Brute Scale, Baskin Brute Scale.
Okay, yeah, those cards, I think mostly fit the bill. I mean, there are a few decks that are Tainted Observer, which we're going to.
Tainted Observer became a real deck thanks to Brute Scale.
We'll be talking about in the tier list episode. Yeah, it's a real deck now. That is one that literally was revived, came back from the dead because of this, literally from one card.
Actually, I don't think it was ever really was around.
No. I had seen some Tainted Observer decks. They were
okay.
Bad. They were not combo decks either.
Oh my god, those poor people.
Yeah. They were just trying to infect you down. Listener Elf and shit.
Jeez. Yeah, because was it Evolution Witness also allows for Honest Rusting to become a combo deck.
Yes.
Not infinite loop. It's a very deterministic loop with Evolution Witness and Implement of Ferocity.
Yep.
I don't know how we generate infinite mana, but you have a giant Evolution Witness.
And Evolution Witness and Brute Skill both are seen in a lot of the Persist combo decks now as well. Because they typically have a way to manipulate counters, +1/+1 counters, to mitigate the persist, right?
Yeah.
So keep it persisting infinitely, so you get more value off of your Deadly Disputes and whatnot, and then eventually go infinite with First Day of Class shenanigans. Those cards have really put some new, breathed some new life into those decks. I remember Jonathan Zerlil. Jonathan playing what is it, Sprouting Thrinax?
Scarland Thrinax.
Scarland Thrinax? Yeah.
Thrinax.
Yep. The Jund deck. The Jund Persist combo deck. That deck is so sick. And yeah, I don't actually know if they are on Witness, but if they're not, they probably should be. You don't really have a lot of protection in those colors. So just being able to get something countered or killed, you play the Witness and you can just go for a win in your next turn. You just literally just keep putting up wins turn after turn.
Yeah, or just you have a giant Thrinax, you're fine. Yeah, and with Brute Scale too. Brute Scale, if you put it in Silver's Cloakwood Hermit, you're set. If people mill it, you're fine. You're going to get them back.
I remember there was one game we were playing. You had a thing that sacks to destroy an enchantment or artifact.
Was it the Varmint?
It was the Varmint.
The Voracious Varmint, yeah.
And you were able to recur that thing repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much lock out 2 other players from the game just by doing
that. So the funny thing about that Varmint is that we already technically have other copies in Caustic Caterpillar.
Oh, yeah, Caustic Caterpillar, yeah.
But the fact that this one is technically flips the mana cost around, so instead of it being 1 mana and 2 to activate, it's 2 to cast and 1 to activate. Mm-hmm. But being a 2/2 body with Vigilance makes it so much better.
So much better. It's so good. Does it tap to activate or no?
No.
Yeah, those cards are pretty critical now for a few decks. Does Aaron's Urchin play Witness?
I don't think that it plays either one of these, but
I'd be surprised if it played Brute Scale, but well, maybe not because you can create Brute Scale.
No, you know it does play Brute Scale. I think it does play Brute Scale because
creates fodder. Yeah, you get.
Yeah, it's free fodder.
Dudes to kill things with.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if it was playing Writhing Chrysalis either.
It should be. Does it play an Eldrazi package to begin with? I think it does, right? I think it was playing like a bunch of Eldrazi.
We have to take a look at like newer lists for it, but again, I would not be surprised.
The last Aranus Urchin that I played against was running a bunch of Eldrazi. So like, yeah, I mean, like if that's your you absolutely should be running these cards.
Yeah, and again, just if you can run Brute Scale Glee in the deck and you accidentally hit it, congratulations on winning. I mean, you still need the outlet for. At worst, you have an infinitely large Brute Scale.
Kind of brings us all the way back to our pre-podcast chat where we're talking about partner commanders, a Jund Street Urchin pairing out there.
I don't know if the RC. I don't think the RC would really care because like anything goes when it comes to partner commanders.
Also, pairing. Would it work if you paired Street Urchin with an infect creature? That would be crazy broken.
I can't. So Shardless Agent, Street Urchin. No, Shardless Agent isn't. No, is it uncommon? No, that has Cascade. Why am I thinking of a Simic uncommon that has Infect? No, I'm gonna get yelled at for saying that Shardless Agent has Infect.
But yeah, apparently, actually, that would work. The Street Urchin would work in the way that we're thinking if you paired it with an Infect creature.
Yeah, but I think for green, that's mostly it's like Evolution Witness. The Basking Brute Scale like helps really bring out all the green decks up. Maintain Observer, a real deck. So, dude, congratulations.
Yeah, I think that about covers it. I mean, we went through all the colors, talked about all the singularly impactful cards that that make or break today's competitive meta. Is there anything you want to add to that, Franklin? Any last thoughts? Any decks that you think are on the edge, on the cusp of greatness, but they just need one thing, and then they're like hot fire?
I don't know what TPI needs, but it's missing something. I just don't know what it needs, but it's missing something, and it's annoying and frustrating because I need Gator to finish up his modern Rocco list to really test it out, but the problem with Rocco is not so much your opponents interacting with you, is you need to win on time. And we have someone in our Discord also working on Rocco, but they're running into the same problem.
Is a Guildmage has always been a deck that I've loved for a long time, but I feel like it is also just missing. It's like on the cusp of grade. This is gonna be funny. We'll never get it. A copy of Dramatic Reversal.
No, I think they realized that they made a mistake with printing that at common.
How is that a common? Yeah, it's crazy. But that would do it.
Like technically, it's a color shifted version of like Mobilize. Actually, no, it's literally a color shifted version of Mobilize because instead of like just creatures, it does all. You know what? We might get it in case it's just like artifacts.
Yep.
Instead of all non-land permanents, it'll just be artifacts, but it would probably also only be sorcery speed if we ever got it at common.
Yeah, my other pet deck also I feel like is on the cut. I mean, and maybe not. Maybe this is probably me just huffing a lot of copium. But Amber Feywild, I feel like might be like there's a card that doesn't exist that in that deck would make that deck significantly better. I just don't really know like what it might be.
I think that's all Amber decks.
And it would need to be so broken though to make Amber. Yeah, it's just like Amber decks. Amber needs like something specific to make her really good. I don't really know what that is. And it has to do with something about the discard draw piece that she puts on the table. That just something that makes that so much more broken in common though. I don't know.
I think we already have it. I think it's the artillerist.
Oh, damn, Magmakin's so good in that deck. I forgot. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
There you go. Congratulations. We made Amber better.
We broke Amber Gat now.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even know what the hell Amber needs, because, like, she needs better stats. She needs to cost less. Because, like, all the backgrounds are good with her. And I don't even think that's a hot take to even say, like, no, she's good with every single background.
Ruby Medallion in common, but that would make just every other deck that's already good way better. It'd make Dargo super good. Dargo Ketis with Ruby Medallion. Woo!
No, we'll have one man. We'll have one man at Ketises.
Yeah, that would be yeah. Any Ketis deck just becomes like really stupid.
Yep.
Right,
so
you want to take us out?
Yep. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you want to watch some more of us yapping and doing silly stuff about Partner Commanders in June, go watch the pre-show. You can go watch it either becoming a YouTube channel member or a supporter of us over on Patreon. Support starts at $1, goes all the way up to $25. The higher you go, the more entitlements you get. So at the $25 tier, you have a personal one-on-one time with either me, Rohan, or Gator for coaching sessions. Follow us over on Blue Sky, TikTok. We're actually doing pretty good traction over there, which makes me happy considering that it was supposed to get banned, didn't get banned, but that's social media for you. And with that, everyone, thank you so much. Have a great week.
Yep. There you go.
Thank you for watching. And if you want to support the channel, please subscribe and join the Discord in our link below. And become a member over on our Patreon.
Shout out to all of our patrons: Eric, Cobraman, Aaron, Dax, Devin, NYC Burrito, Little Rat Lotad, Frank, Scoob, HZ, and Too Much Do. Thank you for all of your support.